Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. It's Friday, baby. Time to talk horror, time to talk about some new releases, and some of the most exciting updates of the week. If you guys are watching this on replay, I greatly appreciate you. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. That'd be pretty dang cool. There we go. Gotta make sure to mute myself. I couldn't do it a second ago. Sometimes YouTube doesn't give me the option until a little later, but here we are now. So welcome in, everybody. Let's get into the chaos a little bit and talk some horror. Now, we have a new movie out that is a very spoiler-reliant film, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of information that you won't want to know about this movie before you see it. It's called Weapons. It's a great new movie. I absolutely freaking loved it. But please, if we can not talk spoilers quite yet about it. We'll do that on Monday. We'll have a whole focus stream for it then, I promise. So spoiler talk on Monday, so make sure to see it this weekend so you can come on in and just talk about a whole bunch of crazy shit over there. It's going to be fun. Now, a few things I want to get into before we start talking horror. We were supposed to do a tier list stream today, but I am just still behind. We just moved into this apartment. This is just the end of week one of being in here, so I did not have enough time today to get to that and do everything else that's going on. Because hilariously enough, let me complain for 2 seconds here, and then I'll and then I'll shut up. So basically, my buddy is getting married on Sunday. I found out about this only a month ago, and it's horrible timing. I love Joe. Shout out, man. I love you, brother. But man, you could not be getting married at a worse time. We are crazy busy here. So I've just been super behind all week. Somehow I still managed to put out a ton of videos, but I haven't even gotten my weapons review done, unfortunately. So hopefully that comes out tomorrow morning. Let's make it happen. But yes, that's another thing I wanted to do, which someone is reminding me in the chat right now. We'll get that going. We are going to have a goal of 20 super chats today, which would be awesome. We're going to try to make that happen in 2 hours. If we do that, I don't know, we'll do something completely insane at the end of this stream. Maybe I'll go for another hour on top of this. How nuts would that be? But again, all support is greatly appreciated. Helps keep the lights on here at the KillJoy Jake Studios. And next week, if you're wondering, I know I said we do a 2010s like tier list video stream. I mean, we're gonna be doing that next Friday, I promise. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay. There we go, getting that all set up. And now let's talk some horror, ladies and gents. How we doing out there? RJ Skarenki is saying, hey there, it's Friday, it's Weapons Weekend, baby. Enjoy the film. Let me know what you guys think about it. Again, I won't get too into it. Again, we'll be doing a spoiler chat on this Monday because it's, in my opinion, one of the biggest releases of the year. It's a movie that I am so excited to hopefully get a deeper dive into. Video-wise and live stream-wise on the page. I loved it. I mean, like, oh my god, jaw was on the ground the entire time. It's a horror classic. It's an instant horror classic. I'm just gonna say it. It's one of those movies that, just like The Shining, Scream, Halloween, we're gonna be talking about it 40 years from now, about how it changed the face of horror. I'm telling you that right now. It is such a unique and original film. There's nothing else quite like it. You have to see it in theaters. It's the best horror film of the year, without a doubt. Oh my god, you got to see it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It's a horror classic, instant horror classic. One of the very best movies I've seen in the theaters in my life. And I don't want to overhype it too much, but oh my god, I loved it. Reaper Kid is saying, what's up, Jake? Did you hear Sydney has a one-on-one brutal fight with Ghostface in Scream 7? Of course she does. Come on now. Yeah, of course she does. We're hearing from a lot of different sources, third-party sources specifically, who have maybe haven't seen the film. I don't know. What do I know? That are saying that it's Sydney focused. I'll be the judge of that. Is kind of how I feel about it right now. Because a lot of people said that about, a lot of people are really wanting to know what is going on with Scream 7. Is it actually Sydney focused or not? If it spends too much time on the kid, I'm just telling you right now, I don't know if I'm going to like it. If it's too much of a Scream 5 formula where it's like we're splitting the narrative between multiple characters, something isn't going to get the love that it deserves. I mean, look at Scream 5. A lot of people had a problem with how little Sidney Prescott and Gil Weathers were on screen during the entire time. And I thought, honestly, the more I watched Scream 5, the more I'm like, it should have either just committed to its new story entirely or started again from the ground up and been an entire story focused on on the main three. But I don't know. I just feel like that movie would have been better had it not been set in Woodsboro, just in general, maybe somewhere else. But that's just my crazy thoughts. I feel like requels are slowly eating themselves. I don't like the format for requels. I just feel like it always results in a lesser product, rather than if you had just done a more simpler story to continue an ongoing franchise like this. So I don't know. I just hope Scream 7 isn't another one of those in this franchise where we're splitting the narrative between different groups of people, if it's the younger characters and the older characters. They already did that perfectly in Scream with Scream 4. You're just not going to top that. So if Scream 7 is more of that, I don't know if I'm interested. Erica is hanging out with us saying meowdy. Hey, yo, Erica, what's up? What's up? Welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. Flamingo Productions is also here. Hi, hello. What's up? What's up? Shot by Shot saying another day and another working out while watching Jake stream. Get a good pump in, my guy. Pump it up, as that one song from the 80s said. I'm being very loud, and I'm remembering I'm in an apartment building. I gotta be quieter. Anakin's anger management therapist is saying, hey Jake, did you pre-order the Nightmare on Elm Street collection on 4K yet? No, but I have seen the collection and it looks sick. Definitely want to get some of that at some point if I can. Well, dude, I really do love some of those movies, so I would love to own them on 4K. The set is expensive though, and I have my eyes on another 4K set as of right now. So I'm trying not to spend too much money, but man, some of those look pretty dang cool. That's what I'll tell you. So definitely want to pick one of those up if I can. Jace saw Weapons last night, loved it, but here's my bold prediction. Black Phone 2 is going to be the best horror movie of 2025. Well, listen, my friend, I hope you're right, because Black Phone 2 looks really good. Could be one of those surprise sequels that are even better. Better than the originals. That would be great. Alex Ferguson is saying, hey, Jake. Hello, Alex Ferguson. How are you? Yo, yo, yo. Bobby, thanks for being a member, my dude. Jake, how have you been, baby? I'm good. We're in a new apartment. We're vibing. Things are great. Things are all good in the hood here. And we're having a lot of fun. So in a new city, in a new place, it's pretty dang cool. I'll tell you what. What was going on in that parking garage? I replied to one of the comments. It was right after the movie. If you guys saw my Weapons initial review, I kind of like got out of the theater and got all excited about it. It wasn't anything too scary, nothing crazy, but I was just like middle of filming my review, and all these people came right in front of my car, and like this lady was kind of like screaming and yelling and pointing at something. I have no idea what was going on, but that happened. They dispersed, and then I just drove out of there and left. Wrapped it up. I don't know. I really don't know what was going on in the parking garage. I couldn't tell you, but I just saw a lady like kind of yelling and like pointing like this, like over there. Something's happening over there. I don't know. But it was all good. Nobody like got hurt or anything like that. I think I made it seem scarier than what it ended up being. But it was just kind of like right in the middle of recording that. I just look up and I see people yelling, and I'm like, oh shit, what's going on here? This is wild. Marley Kai is just telling the truth straight up. Guys, if Jake reaches his goal for today's stream, he will twerk. Yes, I'll get up on the wall, hands and knees and everything. It'll be really a disturbing sight. Make sure to keep your kids far, far away. Paula Fitzhenry is saying, nice seeing everyone. Nice to see you too, Paula. Thanks for talking horror with us. Me and my Lost Boys mug is sipping and sipping on some good stuff here. It's not alcohol. Don't worry about it. YouTube. No, I'm kidding. King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing today? I'm fantastic. There's a rumor that there's going to be a big cameo in Scream 7. Who do you think it could be? My prediction is Jennifer Love Hewitt. That would be wild. I don't know. A lot of people are saying could be Jamie Lee Curtis, which would be fun. You know, it'd be cool to see her in Scream. I think that's a wild cameo, you know, having Laurie Strode essentially now in the Scream universe. Like, that's pretty cool to me. What I especially like about that is Halloween and Scream are just like kind of like this, right? You can only have Scream with Halloween in existence, and the Halloween franchise has even gone on to pay homage to Scream as well in future installments beyond the '96 film. So I think that's really cool. And if she was in there, it would be like this weird full circle moment. I feel having both Sidney Prescott in a Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode style character in there. Sure, why not? I don't think it's actually going to be Laurie Strode. I don't think that makes any sense and would kind of make the first movie this massive weird paradox if they were all in the same universe. But I think it would be fun to see her maybe play just some random character in there. Kind of like how Stephen King is just in the It universe as that like bike shop owner or whatever. Was he a pawn shop owner? I can't remember in It Chapter 2. He's just he pops in there for a minute. That's kind of fun. I like that. But maybe Jamie Lee Curtis, we could do something similar. That would be fun. Faith Dorn is with us saying, hey, Jake and chat. Hello, Faith. Welcome in. Appreciate you. You're saying, hope everybody is having a great Friday. Same to you. Going to see Weapons tonight, and I'm super excited. Enjoy. Go into it blind. People are posting spoilers about it already, and it's pissing me off. Wow, I can't believe how many people are posting about a certain character. That's all I'm going to say. If you've seen the film, you probably know what I'm talking about. We're just outright... We're just spilling the beans, and I hate that. I think that sucks. So I won't say anything regarding that, however, here. And I would expect you to do the same. That's all I'm going to say. So please, no Weapons spoilers until Monday when we go live talking spoilers. Then that'll be fun. But until then, let's give people a chance to see it. Not every one of us can be crazy like me and go to the very first screening, which hilariously was at 2:17 p.m. yesterday, not 2:17 a.m. like when all those kids disappeared. But I thought that was really cool. Rooney Day VT, is that what's up? What's up, my friend? How are you? KillJoy Jake just watched Weapons, and oh boy, that movie got me on my toes. It had me. There was toes involved with that movie for sure. With me, let me tell. I don't know what I'm saying. We need more horror movies with POV of characters. I think I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean by that big time. The one thing I will say about Weapons without spoiling anything, my friend, is that it's a broken narrative that shows you kind of like the same things happening from different people's perspectives, giving you another piece of the pie. And yeah, another thing, again, I don't think this is a spoiler, this is just a detail. It's just really cool how they start to give you pieces of the mystery with each broken narrative, which is really fun and really cool. But it also just like, I don't know, it's one of those things where it's a reveal where I kind of had it figured out at a certain point, but it's not necessarily what the whole film is about. It's not about the answer as to what happened at the kids. No, it's not supposed to be the answer as to what happened to the kids. It's more so about like just the context of the situation and how insane the events that unfold. I don't know. I don't want to say any more than that. I'm going to shut up about Weapons. It's the only thing on my brain regarding horror right now. It's nuts. Let's change the subject a little bit though, because Terrifier 4, we just had ourselves a big ol' nasty update, which I talked about yesterday. Thank you guys for the love on that video, by the way. Terrifier 4, we know it's filming in September now, likely another fall horror film, or maybe something that picks up right where we left off in Terrifier 3. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this upcoming film, the finale, Sienna and Art the Clown's final battle. I want to know your guys' thoughts on Terrifier. Let me know down in the comments below. Alex also saw Weapons yesterday and thought it was really good. I'm so glad you did. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Reign of Horror is here. Hey, hello. Kelly Stroh-Snyder is saying, hello there, Jake, and thank God it's Friday. Hell yes. Hell yes, hell yes. I'm so glad it's Friday as well. It's been a chaotic week, an insanely chaotic week. Ooh, I loved it. Ty Lee, I love this movie. I watched The Skeleton Key last night, and I loved it, and I think Get Out borrowed a few things from it. Skeleton Key is a great movie, a crazy underrated hidden gem, in my opinion. I really like that film quite a bit. Watched that one when I was a kid, and it scared the hell out of me. If you haven't seen that one, ooh, recommend. That's a good little hidden gem. Haven't thought about that movie in a long time. Madison, yes, I know I said we were going to go live at 3:30. I thought I was going to be able to get my Weapons review done today. It just was not in the cards, unfortunately. I had a few other things I had to get done today. Like a video going up on GullGotha, which I should be able to file for monetization very soon here. We need a few more little things to happen, and then we'll do it. Speaking of which, at 5 o'clock today, a new video goes up over on GullGotha. Please go check it out. It would greatly help us a ton. That's our gaming channel, if you don't know, and we're hoping to get that monetized very soon here. So please go check it out. Please subscribe, and check out some of the videos. We're almost at monetization status with the watch hours, so it would greatly help us if you just checked out some of those videos. Would be awesome. So stop on by there, give it a watch, check it out. Magnificent Logo also loved Weapons. Again, we will talk spoilers on Monday, and I'm so excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wes Carpenter Flicks is saying, just popping by to say what's up, and like the shirt, bro. Thank you so much. Love me some Poppy. Man, That latest album was pretty good. We're in the Outer Banks having dinner. Nice. Enjoy. I'll watch the video later if you post it. Much love. Hell yeah, dude. Great stuff, Wes Carpenter Flicks. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy. We actually, Madison and I got to take a little trip down to like Outer Banks area down there earlier this year, and it was a lot of fun. Tell you what, I love the Carolinas. So much fun, so much things to do out there, which is nice. So it was nice to get away from it all for like a week and just kind of vibe. So I hope you're enjoying, hope you're having fun. Hope you're doing some crazy stuff this weekend. Let me tell you, it's always a good time to get away for a little bit. Eli Cortez is saying, what's up, Jake in chat? What's up, Eli? How's it going? Welcome in, my guy. Welcome in, welcome in. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite horror movie? Leave it for me in the chat. Only Eli, though. I don't want to know anybody else's favorite color besides Eli. I'm kidding. What Pooniverse film are you the most excited for? Definitely the new Pinocchio, dude. The Pinocchio sounds like it's going to be crazy. I know a few things about Pinocchio that I shouldn't say, but it does sound like we're getting into some body horror in the Pooniverse, which is like my cup of tea. So I'm all about that personally. I cannot wait for Pinocchio. What I've heard and read about it sounds like it's going to be a fucking banger. So I am real hyped, real hyped. Oh, and the cast? Forgot about this. Robert Englund is like voicing the little fucker. I can't remember his name, but the little what's it, the grasshopper guy from Pinocchio? I can't remember his name for the life of me, but that's crazy. Like they got Robert Englund in there to do some crazy shit. I don't know. It's got an awesome cast. It sounds like a crazy concept. I think it's going to be a banger. I can't wait to see what it's all about. Cinepixel is saying Iris Campbell was kind of Laurie Strode of the Final Destination franchise. Yes, and we actually kind of had a little bit of a Final Destination update. AJ Cook is doing all this promo for Final Destination Bloodlines, which I think is really interesting. She's not in the film, but now they're doing this shit. I feel like they're gearing us up for AJ to come back at some point for the next one. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, looking too far into things. But it is interesting that they got AJ Cook to do all this and promote the new Final Destination. What's up with that? I think something. Yeah, Jiminy Cricket. There we go. Thank you. The little fucker. That's his name. It's the same thing. Come on. I'm kidding. Cryptic Haze is saying, so the theater I seen messed up and didn't give me a 5:30 showing. So I saw Weapons and Together back to back yesterday. But I got to see Weapons in iBox? Actually, I don't know what that means. I'm not an iBox. Is that like an animal? Did you ride an iBox into the theater? I'm not sure, Cryptic Haze. That's a crazy double feature though, Weapons and Together. Oh man, what's actually really funny about that? I got a Together poster at Weapons. Like they just had them. I remember I went to go scan my ticket, and then the lady there was just sitting next to this stack of Together posters, and I'm like, "Can I take one of those?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And I'll kind of show it off for a minute here because I'm all excited about it. It's real cool stuff. So this is definitely going on the set. Together was one of my favorite horror films of the year, without a doubt. I think I liked Weapons more for sure, but this is a banger too, man. If you haven't seen Together, absolutely amazing film. It's kind of a sweet movie, surprisingly, but it's also very gross. And to me, those are the best kind of horror films. It mixes two things that you think would never go together, and it does it really well. So guys, if you have not seen Together either, a very good film. Very exciting stuff. David DeChico, thank you for the $10, my friend. Really appreciate you kicking off our super chat goal here. And you're saying, hey, Jake, your new apartment gets a golden ghost face. Hell yeah, dog. Any updates on Happy Death Day 3 and The Collected? Great questions, my dude. Thank you so much for the love for the apartment, by the way. This is only going to get crazier. Madison and I just got a plan for what's going on this back wall. So this is going to be filled out real soon here. But some updates on Happy Death Day 3. It sounds like it's actually moving forward at Blumhouse a little bit, last I heard, which is real exciting. If we finally get that would be awesome. I think a lot of the reasons that is happening is because Christopher Landon just had a little bit of, mild success with some movies that he put out at the top of the year. Excuse me. If it's Hard Eyes or Drop, which I'm trying to remember how much money Drop made. But I remember reading it was like it was profitable, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, $28 million against an $11 million budget. That's not terrible. That's not horrible. So yeah, it sounds like Christopher Landon may finally be able to get that Happy Death Day 3 off the ground. So we actually did get a little bit of an update on that, though. Sounds like it's moving forward at Blumhouse, which is really exciting, and I am here for it. I want another Happy Death Day so bad. Cannot wait to see what's up with all that. Especially, Happy Death Day 2, man, it ended with a big tease at more. Like, it was almost borderline a cliffhanger. So we got to get a Happy Death Day 3. Finish up the trilogy. Let's go now. Hopefully it's more of a horror film than the second one was, though. So that's a big thing I would like to see changed for part 3. The Collected, it doesn't seem like, I don't know what's going on with that. Last we heard from the directors is that it was back on, but we haven't heard a single update since. Those guys, man, Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton, they just cannot catch a break. They just cannot catch a break at all, which I think is such a bummer. Mad Apple, did you send me a super chat on here? No way, dude. Thank you so much. He sent me a PayPal super chat. I'm going to get to that in just a moment here. Yeah, with The Collector, it just seems like Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton, they can't catch a break. They wrote the script for the original Saw 11 that seems to be tossed aside now. They've been trying to make this third Collector film and just haven't had any luck. They got ghosted by the producers mid-production, so they couldn't keep going on with the production. Doesn't that suck? We even got like images from the third Collector film, and like now it's just not going to happen because those producers just gave up on the project. Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense to me. We're still talking about this movie all the while later. Crazy that they just kind of threw it aside, threw it in the trash. Nuts to me. But hopefully we get some updates on these two projects very soon here. But last we heard on both of them, they are moving forward. So maybe some more progress will come about. Or maybe it's a Trick or Treat 2 situation where the director keeps saying, it's happening, and then nothing comes from that. So I don't know. Hopefully, David, thank you for the $10 though, my friend. I greatly appreciate your support. Now, Mad Apple has actually sent me a PayPal super chat, which I greatly appreciate you for that. As you guys may know, YouTube just takes half of all my shit. Half of what I make, unfortunately, goes to YouTube, basically. But let's see what David sent me here. I'm trying to read this, but PayPal is difficult to navigate. Tell you what, I don't know why. It just will not let me read this. Here we go. Hey, Jake, how's the move going? I'm on the live, but wanted to maximize your profitability versus Super Chat. I greatly appreciate that, my friend. The move is going great. It really is. We're nearly unpacked. We are unpacked. We're basically unpacked. I just got to put some clothes away, really. So no, things are going great with the move. It's just kind of, it's put me behind a little bit. We got a lot to do this weekend where, oh my God, do I want to rest? It's been nonstop since we moved in here last Friday. Have not had a moment to chill or vibe or whatever. So it's just been chaos since then. No, but things are going good, and I really do appreciate your support, Brian. Thanks for sending that in. Means a ton. That's gonna, yeah, again, PayPal stuff like that. That's always gonna help out the page a lot more than just the super chats too. So greatly appreciate that a ton, dude. Means a lot. And hopefully we can get some more shit on this back wall soon, so it looks way cooler. That's like the last real big thing we got to do with the move to make this office feel a little spookier than it already does. So we're gonna get a ton of different frames, and we're going to hang up a bunch of these posters because I have this one, but I have some of the ones from my old set. I couldn't get some of them down, unfortunately. The Creature from the Black Lagoon poster was one I could not get down. I would have ripped it off the wall, so it stayed behind. But hopefully I'll get a new one and have that on the back wall soon. I also have a Saw and a Stranger Things poster that are going to live back there, so I thought that would be fun. Thought that would be a cool thing to put up on the set. But more things are coming, I promise. It's going to be sweet. Mad Apple, thank you for your support. Greatly appreciated a ton. Who else is hanging out with us? We got Cinepixel saying, and even if Jake is not seeing my comments, I have the moderators replying, so no problem if he doesn't. I see your comments. I said I replied to one of your comments earlier, my friend. Thank you for being here. Flamingo Productions is saying, do you think a Has Been Hotel and Terrifier crossover would work? I have not seen Has Been Hotel, but I have heard of it. Isn't that like the animated show like that takes place in hell, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know. I might be totally wrong. I can't really speak to that. I'm going to be totally real. I feel like I've only ever really heard of that. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with all that is what I'll say. Keenan is saying, yo, what is up, my dude? What is up? Michael C is saying, hey, everyone. What's up, Michael? Welcome in. Who else we got going on here? We got Stefano. Thanks for being a channel member, dude. Saying, hi, Jake. Love the new set. I'm glad you dig it. I think it's a lot of fun. I especially really like the little goofy masks over there on the closet. I think that's a ton of fun. But hopefully we can get this back. Again, I want some posters on this back wall. That would be dope. Be the only thing that I would want to do to make it better. Cinepixel is saying, here's how Final Destination Bloodlines can become what? Question mark. It starts with the sky view. Iris and Paul reach their same way, like the movie, as Paul proposes and Iris reveals she is having a kid and a portal opens. Is this a Doctor Strange portal into Endgame, into the Endgame realm? I don't know, but I am excited for another Final Destination 7 update. Hopefully we get something soon. Gina is saying, my copy of Happy Death Day 2 is still in the wrapper on my shelf. Never seen it yet. Oh, brutal. It's fun. It's fun. Is it great? No. I thought it was a fun one. I don't hate it by any means, but I just don't love it either. And I wish I did. But I don't. That's what I'll say about it. Gina, you also threw a $1 out there. Thank you so much for helping out with the Super Chat goal today. Really means a lot. We're going to do something fun too. It's a brand new month on the page. And I do this every month. I get to do this twice a month. So we're going to do it. It's Friday, so let's do something a little fun. I'm going to give out some memberships. We're going to send out 5 for free right now. 5 people get to do that. Who's it going to be? Let's send it off and let's see. Bam. Give it a minute. Let's go. Okay, that's going to NRU Cody, Jace Crawford, Will Defer, Heather, with a little maple leaf at the end of there. Very nice. Maybe from Canada, question mark. Fingers crossed. I love me some Canada people. And we also have Wes Carpenter Flicks, all joining the fold. Welcome to the membership program, my friends. It's getting a whole new revamped thing this week, which is real fun. We just started off with the first exclusive video, which is a review of Superman. So if you're wondering, Jake, why should I become a member? I'll tell you why right now. I'm going to start reviewing all the other movies that are like bigger releases throughout the months and years or whatever that we're doing this, outside of just horror, because we have a lot of people who will come in here and ask my thoughts on other films, and I just never get around to actually reviewing them. So why not do it like this? This would be kind of a fun way to do it. So the membership program, we can do more reviews that way, which is really sick. So my review of Superman is out right now. It was a really thought out review, and I'm really proud of it. So definitely go check it out if you're a member. And we're also gonna just phase out the top tier. There's gonna be one tier, one ghost face tier. That's gonna be it moving forward too. It's just gonna be that, and I'm just gonna post videos for for like just no different tiers and stuff like that. We're gonna just keep it real simple moving forward. But I will have a video out on that sometime next week talking about the changes to the membership program. But which I want to do more stuff. I want to make it more appealing, and I also want to make it more feeling like it's worth your time to support the page. I want to make sure that I'm giving back something that you guys actually want, which I feel like that seems to be something that gets brought up on lives quite a bit, is people asking about my thoughts on other genres and what else is going on in the space of film right now. So I thought that would be fun. I thought that would be a fun place to take it. Ty Lee is hanging out with us, saying, I hope Terrifier 4 takes place in fall or winter or a random day. I don't want Valentine's Day or Easter or none of that. Ty, I just talked about this in my new video, why I don't want it to be a holiday theme. I feel like we've done that. You know what I mean? I feel like the shock of Art the Clown wearing Santa Claus's suit, that was really exciting. But I don't know if I care that much now about him running around as Cupid. Is that going to be the same thing, but just diminishing returns? Probably. That's kind of, I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it. I would rather Terrifier 4 just be a continuation to 3, not Christmas again, but just let's do something a little more simpler. Let's do something where it's not holiday focused, and it's just, this is the wrap up to the Terrifier franchise, not just another thing kind of paying homage to slashers that came previously, where Terrifier 3, lots of love and, kind of standing on the shoulders of giants like Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, yada, yada. I think that Terrifier 4 just needs to be a bona fide Damien Leone movie and just kind of do its own thing, and that's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I agree. I'm kind of beyond. I'm past the whole Terrifier needs to do a holiday thing at this point. Jonathan Marino's throwing $5 out there too. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Saying jump scare. You got me. What's the origin story of how and why you got started on this channel? And do you accept fan mail / gifts? How so and why or why not? So I used to have a P.O. box and I don't have it anymore. I got to get a new one. We just moved, so that was kind of part of why we don't have it anymore. But hopefully I can hopefully I can make something happen with that at some point in the future. I will let you know. But how did I get started on this page? Well, I really just fell in love with horror in 2018. When I got out of high school, I immediately just started working. And I just remember I kind of, not to get too personal or nothing, but just I fell into a major depression. Just like I felt like I was kind of throwing my life away, not going to college, and I don't know why I made the decisions I did. So I was drawn to the theater. I was drawn to just movies and looking for an escape, and horror was kind of that for me for a little while there. And I started watching channels like Dead Meat and 3C Films, Drum Dums especially. I really liked watching Drum Dums. A lot of these different pages, and I'm like, this is what I should do. I should get back into YouTube. I had tried some YouTube channels before in the past, but nothing ever really took off. And then in late 2019, I finally just pulled the trigger and did it. So now here I am, many years later, and we're doing okay. You know, we're doing good. I want this page to be something much bigger one day. Hopefully we can make that happen. I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers, hopefully very soon, and we're making it happen. So, so we're making it happen. We're moving forward if we can. But Jonathan, thank you so much for the 5. I greatly appreciate your support. And yeah, I will absolutely try to make some kind of PO box thing happen at some point in the future. Jonathan, thank you for the 5 W's in the chat for Jonathan, baby. Let's go. Thank you. Means a lot. Jace is saying, thanks, Jake. Of course. Speaking of Superman, I saw that this week as well. I do think Fantastic Four was better, but both a 3.5 on Letterboxd. Not bad. I gave it a very generous 4. I really liked Superman. I don't know if I would go so far as to say I loved it. But I did really like it. I'm not like the craziest superhero movie fan, if I'm being real. But I did really like a lot of things going on in Superman. It didn't feel as rinse and repeat as a lot of the other movies I've seen recently. So I had a lot of good things to say. It was a very fresh movie. I didn't feel like it was just something I'd seen a million times before. So I liked it quite a bit. I had a very good time with Superman, and I'm excited to see Fantastic Four as well. I think that one's gonna be fun. Marvel, I'm a little less excited for, but I'm definitely still gonna see that one and still do a review for Patreon and channel members for sure. My Chunky Jordy, thank you so much for the $2. I love this. Please do a Fast and Furious franchise review. You know, I'll have to at some point. I haven't talked about it in a while, but I'm obsessed with the Fast and Furious franchise. I think it's just insane. I don't know how we went from this like very typical movie about, kind of cars and, people who are, I don't know, like people you sympathize with who are kind of breaking the law. You know, these like gray area in terms of moral characters that just now it's something else entirely. The first movie, pretty solid and grounded, but now by Fast X, it's the most ridiculous, crazy shit you've ever seen in your life. And you're just like, how has the apple fallen not only far from the tree, but into fucking outer space? And that's not an exaggeration. They literally go to space in one of these movies. But the Fast and Furious franchise, it is absolutely something I would consider reviewing for Patreon members. Maybe it's at some point in the future we'll make that happen. That would be insanely funny. Gina, thank you so much for the $2. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the request too. That's a great idea right there. Oh man, that's crazy. What else do we got going on? Marley Kai wants to send me the Necronomicon. I'm good. You don't have to send me that. I already got one, actually. Hang on now. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is on this one. I already got that hanging out back here. Should I read from it? Do you think I should just like open this up and start reading all the crazy Latin in here? I think everything would be fine if I did that, you know? I don't know. What do you guys think? You think this looks safe? I think so. I love that. That's hilarious. Oh man. What else do we got going on here? Erica's hanging out with us, telling folks to check out GullGotha and the Discord. Yeah, that's another thing I'll say. I sometimes forget to mention this, but we have a Discord server if you want to talk horror 24/7. We're always talking about some crazy bullshit in there. So give it a click at some point if you want. Click on that bad boy, hover your mouse on top of it, and give it a little rub-ski, if you know what I'm saying. Ty Lee is saying, I'm hoping I like Weapons more than I liked Barbarian. I'll wait till the hype dies down before I see it. I still love Barbarian. I don't know. I've never gotten the hate for it. Some people don't like Barbarian, I feel, because it's not what it was marketed to be. You know, it's a million different things all in one, but I feel like they're all executed very well. And I feel like Weapons is that, but times 1,000. It's like super duper Barbarian is kind of how I feel about it. I personally like Weapons even more than Barbarian, and that was already one of my favorite films personally of the decade. Weapons is even better. I can't even believe I'm saying it, but that might be my favorite film of the decade so far. It's perfect. It's a masterpiece. I really wouldn't. I have no credit. I walked out of that movie and I'm just like, that was perfect. That was a masterpiece. I have nothing negative to say about it. The performances were great. Characters were amazing. Twists and turns and explosive moments of that film were completely insane. I don't know. There's so much to love about it. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Couldn't recommend it enough. Zach Krager might be my new favorite voice in horror right now. Paula Fitzhenry is asking a question. What is the one thing you want from Terrifier? What's the one big thing I would want from a new Terrifier? Probably, well, from this new one at least, I really want to see a good and well-executed final battle between Sienna and Art the Clown. I feel like it's been a long time coming. You know, we've had so many battles between them. Now we need to find a way to step that up in part 4. How can we do that and make it even crazier than the last 2 fights? Because, man, those were pretty good. That chainsaw battle in part 3 was sick. How do you do it better than that? It's a big question. You know, it's a big question that I'm hoping Damien has a good answer to. And, you know, the other interesting thing that I've heard Damien say recently, I was doing a lot of research going through different different podcasts and different like just moments of Damien talking about Terrifier during the Terrifier 3 marketing. He specifically says that he wouldn't be completely opposed to doing more with Terrifier beyond the Sienna and Art the Clown story. Like Terrifiers want like Terrifier 2, 3, 4, that's kind of like its own little arc, but maybe we could do something else with Art the Clown in another series or another continuation of some sort. And that's really interesting to me. I'm curious what that would look like. He said that since they've introduced the whole supernatural element to the franchise, it's like why wouldn't we be able to bring Art the Clown back for something else? And something I'd want to throw out there is like, if they do actually go through with a lot of the things that they're teasing, you know, the idea is that Art the Clown is this serial killer from the 90s. There's a lot of hints at that throughout Terrifiers 2 and Terrifier 3, that he was like killing, you know, a bunch of people before he even became supernatural. I would love to see a prequel movie. Honestly, I'd love to see like a Terrifier set in like the late 90s where he's just running around, not even supernatural, something that's a little more grounded. That would be really different, especially considering the fact that Terrifier 4 is likely to be the most supernatural film in the whole franchise. That would be such a, you know, return to form for Terrifier to do something a little more similar to 1, but maybe a little more sophisticated. You know what I mean? There's parts of the first Terrifier where I'm like, man, I don't know if this even has a story. You know what I mean? Then we finally get an injection of story in part 2. But could we do Terrifier 1 again, essentially, like maybe as a prequel film? Could we do a whole prequel series about Art the Clown where he's just like a normal killer and just leading up to the events in the first Terrifier? I think that would be fun. I think that would be kind of cool. Show us the carnival before it shut down. You know what I mean? That could be a whole film in and of itself. Nothing that messes with the lore of what's already happened, but I think that would be fun personally. I think that would be a cool like way to look back on the franchise without interfering with the story in place. Yeah, and something else I'll say, fellas, is I know we're all excited about Weapons. I know a ton of people got to see it, but please no spoilers. Yeah, please don't do that. Yeah, please no spoilers for Weapons out there. This is a movie nobody really wants to get spoiled. I feel like it's a movie totally reliant on a lot of its twists and turns. So please don't put those out there. We don't want to block anybody, but we will if you post spoilers. So that's what I'll say. We like I said, though, if you do want to talk spoilers with us, no worries. We're going to do that after the weekend concludes on Monday. So stop on by Monday night at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and we will be talking spoilers for the film then. So that I'll set that stream up momentarily, hopefully after this stream concludes, so that we know we can do that then. That'll be exciting. Chills Films is saying Weapons is my third favorite film from 2025, but was the best cinema experience I've had. Packed audience who were laughing at the ending. The ending is outrageous. Some funny moments, some scary moments, lots to love. It is a very goofy film, but it is also, I think, personally for me, Weapons has one of the most terrifying sequence in a horror movie I've ever seen. There's 2 or 3 sequences of that movie that is like some of the scariest shit I've ever seen, and I'm saying that as somebody who watches horror movies for a living. Holy shit. One of those sequences is towards the end too, which is awesome. But oh my god, it's good. It's good. Go give it a watch. Yes, lots to love there. Terrifier update this week, which is exciting, folks. If you missed that video, go give it a watch. But essentially, besides the theory I pitched at the end about Art potentially going to prison, which is something I really do think is going to happen in the new film, we got a big update that Terrifier 4 is going to start shooting at the tail end of September. Essentially, I think it's September 21st. 22nd, I can't, one of those dates. And we also have confirmation that David Howard Thornton will return for the film, as well as Lauren Levera as Sienna Shaw, which is really exciting stuff. So yes, these 2 characters are coming back. We're shooting this movie in the fall again. I want to hear any theories you guys have. Throw them out there. Probably the biggest update of the week, which is real exciting. And I'm just so hyped, man. I need Terrifier in my life. Need more of it. Need more of it injected into my veins. Cinepixels is saying, okay, Erica, I told my Final Destination Bloodlines take. How is it bad? You're allowed to have different takes on things. That's all good. I don't know. Paula is saying, I haven't seen it yet. I will watch it when it is streaming, along with I Know What You Did Last Summer. Well, definitely give it a watch, Paula, when you can, and tell us what you think. Let us know. Dean Renner is saying, I'm in the minority. Weapons was okay. Great buildup. I wasn't big on the payoff. That's fair enough. I don't know what I can say without spoiling anything. Dean, show up on Monday, and we'll talk a little more about it. That's what I'll say. I'm curious what you liked, what you didn't like about the film. But show up on Monday when we talk a little bit about it. What I'll say is I feel like what's great about it is that you're left with this ambiguity of horror. Like there's not everything is fully explained. You get enough to understand what's been happening, but there's an ambiguity. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say right now. There's an ambiguity element to the film that I liked quite a bit. That added to the terror for me personally. So stop on by Monday, and we're going to talk spoilers for the film. Monday it is, says Dean. Hell yes. Yeah, I'm excited to get into it. Matt Apple is saying, what's your plans for food today? I am cooking my famous, it's somewhat famous, chicken parm tonight for Madison. It's going to be the first time she's had it. I haven't made it in a while, so I might be a little rusty, but I'm quite excited to make it. I think it's going to be good. I hope it is. Last time I made it, it was friggin' awesome. So I think that tonight's going to be great. Real excited for food tonight. GOW Speedruns and Memes is saying, KillJoy Jake. Wasn't it already confirmed that both actors would come back, like from watching Terrifier 3? Yes, but now we have official confirmation. So you're right. I mean, I can't argue with that. Yeah, I don't think they could tell Terrifier 4 without those 2 characters. Sure, but now we have official confirmation. Sometimes we hear that characters are going to be in new movies and then just doesn't end up happening. Like take Patrick Dempsey, for instance, in Scream 7. That was supposed to happen. There's proof of it too. Some people like to argue with me on that, but Mark Kincaid was supposed to be in Scream 7. Now that's not happening, so they've rewritten the character entirely to fix that. So God forbid this happens, but let's say that Sienna Shaw has to be replaced for Terrifier 4. Let's say Lauren Levera can't do it for one reason or the other. That's not going to happen. But if it did, that would totally change up the whole goddamn thing. then we'd all be scratching our heads. That would be a totally different conversation, right? But no, we have official confirmation that they will show up in this film. It's likely already in their schedules to go film this thing in New York this fall. So I think that's exciting. I think that's exciting to talk about. It's an important thing too, I feel, to know about upcoming films so that you don't get what I was just talking about. Hey, we're gonna have this other actress play Sienna now, and it's fine. It's like, what? No, it's not. No, it's not fine. It's important stuff. Flamingo Productions is saying, funny story, when I watched the first trailer of Weapons, I did not know what the fuck was going on. Was some kind of Pied Piper, or was it some Exorcist film? I don't know. I will not say. Go watch it. Go watch it. Go check it out. I did a video on it a little while ago talking about one of the Weapons trailers. I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one. I made some early predictions, so if you want to go check that video out and hear what my thoughts were before I saw it, go give that a watch. Cinepixel is talking about Final Destination Bloodlines, saying, Stephanie says, Grandma, how are you alive? And you died like right now. The guy who brought them from the past tells they are the past Stephanie. I don't know what I'm so sorry, Cinepixel. I just don't know what you're saying. Marley Kai is saying, I loved mixing melted cheese and beans together. Okay, all right. You know what? Rock on. We are off topic today, aren't we? That's got to be like a UK thing. Like, people love weird things with beans in the UK. I have a few friends from over there. If Teddy's hanging out with us, by the way, hello, Teddy. Teddy from the UK, if you're there. So much love to you, my friend. Shot by Shot didn't watch any of the trailers for Weapons. Good. Don't watch them. Don't watch them and just go see the movie. They don't really spoil anything, but don't watch the trailers if you haven't seen them. Just go into this one blind. Just go see it. Oh my God, go see it. Jason Rushman is saying, hey, what's up, Jake? What's up, Jason? Saying, it's been a long time. How have you been? It's Jason. I know it's Jason, and I love you, Jason. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking horror. I'm fantastic. I'm in a brand new apartment, brand new city, brand new vibe to the page, let me tell you. And life is good. We're vibing the fuck out. So things are going great here, Jason. I hope the same to you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Matt Apple is saying, great, sure Madison will enjoy, but your next pizza delivery is on me, PayPal style. Bro, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it, Matt Apple. Means a lot to me. It's been a crazy day, and we had a crazy weekend. Didn't have a whole lot of time to rest. We're gonna hopefully find some time to chill tomorrow. We're I'll tell you what, we're eating out tomorrow. We ain't fucking. We've been cooking and being good all week. Oh my God, you sent me another $20. Thank you so much. You just paid for our pizza tomorrow. I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. It really means a lot. Yeah, we planned on just kind of eating out tomorrow and just kind of laying in bed because it has been crazy for both of us. She has been busting it, making sure our apartment looks nice. We're hosting kind of the bachelor party for my buddy who's getting married on Sunday tonight. It's chaos. There's so much going on, and we're like, Saturday, I just want to lay in bed and eat food and not think about anything. So hopefully we're going to make that happen, and you, sir, just helped out with that quite a bit. So thank you, Mad Apple. I greatly appreciate that. GOW speedruns and memes. I want to see these speedruns and memes, GOW. Saying, did anyone else just dislike the third act after the hospital in Final Destination Bloodlines? I felt the only big criticism I have about Final Destination Bloodlines is I wish they didn't rush through the climax. That was really the only thing I disliked about the film. I wish they had spent a little more time at the end with the cabin. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. I just kind of felt like we were just kind of there and done with it. You know, just kind of, we did that. Okay, we're moving on to the next thing. And it's also kind of just something a little too similar to Final Destination 2, I feel. So I wish they had kind of, gone a little out of their comfort zone a little bit there and done something a little more fresh like the rest of the movie. But I did like the ending of the film. I liked the ending quite a bit. I just wish that climax was a little more crazy. It's probably one of the weakest parts of the whole movie for me personally. Especially after watching it again, that was something I really noticed on second watch. It was just kind of like, it's okay. It's all right. Most of it's fantastic. Most of Final Destination Bloodlines I love, and it's still probably my favorite of the franchise, if I'm being real. And, you know, the other thing, too, about Final Destination is a lot of the climaxes aren't very good. That's pretty consistent across the board with this franchise. There's standouts. There's some really good ones there, too, I will say. But there's a lot of those. There's a lot of movies in that series where I'm just kind of like, that's supposed to be the most exciting moment of this whole thing? Crazy. Final Destination movies, I feel like most of the time it's always like one of the bigger kill sequences or that opening that's like the craziest part of the whole movie, for me at least. Jason saying congratulations on the new place, Jake. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here, my friend. Yeah, Erica, we are 2 ahead in the current shown super chat goal. This is true. This is true. That's thanks to Matt Apple, who rocks a ton. Thank you for the support, my friend. Riley Rage is saying, hey, Jakey Poo, question. Hit me with the question, my friend. I love how you put a ghost and a poop emoji. Potentially referring to me. That's brutal. I'm just kidding. Thanks for being here, my friend. Cryptic Haze is saying, bro, you got to try Marvel Rivals Blade on GullGotha. He's so good. That might be fun. I could get into that. I do want to say we missed out on doing a stream last night because I'm going to be so real. I didn't have it in me. I really wanted to. And I came home from weapons last night and I just kind of, I collapsed. I made dinner for Madison begrudgingly. And then I just was like, oh, I fell down on my bed, ate a tub of ice cream by myself. Ask Madison. I really did that. That's how hungry I was. And I passed the fuck out, dude. It was it was wild. It was a wild Thursday. It's been nuts. We've been just moving shit up and down stairs all week and up ladders. Up elevators. No ladders were involved with getting into the apartment. That would be insane. We don't have elevators here. We've just been climbing ladders to get into the apartment. Wow, this place sucks. No, I'm kidding. No, things are good. No ladders are involved. That's so funny. Oh, God. About the speedruns and the memes, we got a bit of a follow-up here from GOW. I plan to make memes of God of War games and speedruns too, but I never did it. That's okay. There's no time like the present, you know? No time like the presents to do speedruns and memes, my friend. That's what I'll say about that. Ty is saying I didn't love the Cecilia, a.k.a. Laurie Strode thing, because at this point, we've seen legacy characters so much, it's kind of old. I mean, I totally get that. I totally understand that. I feel like there's a lot of there's a lot of movies that are trying so hard to do the requel format where it just maybe doesn't work or maybe just kind of repetitive at this point. It's been 7 years since that was first like really popular. It worked really well in Halloween 2018 because the new characters were fleshed out really well. But there's been other subsequent movies to follow that didn't do it quite as good. So I think I'm over it. I'm over requels. Let's move on to something else. Horror. Let's move into pocket stories. Can that be the new popular thing for a little while? Pocket stories have been banging for the last couple of years. Most of those, not all, but most have been pretty fucking fantastic. If it's Prey, if it's Evil Dead Rise, if it's really trying to think of another one. I guess Hellraiser kind of is a pocket story. It has nothing to do with the other ones, but has elements from the other movies. I think trying to continue old stories nowadays is tough. You can't apply it to every franchise. Some you can. I think like Scream is a good example of one that, yeah, okay, I could see you just tacking on to the end of where we left off last time. That makes sense for that franchise, but there's some series where they try to do it and you're just kind of scratching your head as to why. Why didn't they just reinvent this with franchise elements we already know and love? So I'm here for it. I am here for moving past legacy characters and just trying some other stuff out, you know? David the Chico, #1 with our little leaderboard system here. What's up, David? Saying the thing that drove me crazy about Bloodlines is why did they continue to stand in front of that x-ray machine after getting a weird feeling about it? They were having that little emotional brotherly love moment there, David. I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. Because we needed a good kill at that time and place, right? We needed a spring going through Bobby's head. That's why. And a wheelchair through Eric's stomach. DJ Plays Favorites is saying, hello all. Hello, DJ. I hope I'm your favorite. I hope the one I hope you're playing favorites with me. That would be cool. Flamingo is saying, question, if you had to pick any horror movie to be in, which one would it be? Any horror movie to be in? Like, which one would I want to hang out and exist within? There's a lot of bad ones out there that I would not want to be a part of. I feel like Scream would probably be a fun one though. Characters are mostly cool. And I would probably be Ghostface because I think that would be fun. So I'd probably want to be in a Scream movie. I feel like that would be the most fun. I think your gifting of memberships is turned off, should be in the super sticker, super chat section. To me, it's like in my little area here, if you click the super chat button, it's at the very bottom. It says super stickers, super chat, and then memberships. That's where I see it, at least. Maybe it's not for everybody, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know if that's turned on and off, or on or off. I'm curious. Curious if that's for real or not. Justin Proper is hanging out saying, what are pocket stories? Pocket stories meaning like Prey is a really good example in the Predator franchise, where it's just like, here's a story that's happening in this universe, but it's not really affected by anything else that's happened in previous movies. So it's about, the Comanche tribe and them fighting against the Predator long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to see Predator 2 to see that one, even though there are little Easter eggs. Whereas compared to something like Scream 5, which is a requel, had you not seen the 4 previous films, you might not understand some of the stuff happening in that film. Like all of the drama between Gale and Dewey or Sidney Prescott. Who is this lady? You know what I mean? If you had never seen Screams 1 through 4, you might just be like, why are they calling this random woman? What's happening here? You don't need to know any of that moving into something like Prey or Evil Dead Rise. You just need to be familiar with typical franchise elements, which I feel like is like one of the easiest ways to continue a story, and also results most of the time, at least in my opinion, in some of the best continuations we have in the modern day. I mean, Evil Dead Rise and Prey both fucking rocked. I imagine Predator Badlands is also going to be sick, and Evil Dead Burn is on the way. These are going to be great. These are going to be awesome. Alien Romulus, another pocket story. Great example of that too. It's set in the Alien universe. But yeah, just still just has franchise elements, but doesn't necessarily continue old storylines like how requels tend to do. That to me is like one of the most that to me is one of the most efficient, best ways to tell a new story in the modern day. That's weird that's off. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's up with that. I'm actually gonna go into my little settings here and see if I can see if that's just like turned off or something. Huh. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. What's the next big movie that's releasing? We have I still haven't seen Strange Harvest, which is out this weekend. That's really exciting. Really hyped to see what that's all about. I definitely want to see that one and hopefully put out a review sometime soon. It's going to be tough for me to put out any sort of video this like basically this week. I don't know. Mad Apple, I'm not 100% sure what's going on. It's not on for membership gifting. You're not a member and have to allow gifts or join. Wait, do you have to be a member to do membership gifting? Hey, see, now I'm curious. Now I'm invested in this. What's happening here? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm so sorry, Mad Apple. I'll do some investigating after the stream to see if I can figure out what's going on with all that. Cinepixel is saying, Erica Reaper tells you have been... Cinepixel, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm so sorry. I want to reply to one of your chats, but where can I tell you my take on Bloodlines clearly on which platform? Right here, right now. Type it out. Send it my way. Let me know. I'm curious what you think about Bloodlines. Ty Lee is saying Evil Dead 2013 and Rise would be pocket stories in the Evil Dead universe, for example. Yeah, just like, one-shot little stories that just... They use franchise elements but have nothing to do with some of the previous entries, or nothing that's so important. You know what I mean? No franchise elements that are like brutally important that you have to know other storylines to get into this one. Riley Rage is saying, question, will Sydney be present on screen in Scream 7 more or less than in Scream 4? I hope she's present for majority of the time. I really hope this is a focus on Sydney Prescott. I think I'm starting to get to a point where when people promise things about movies and don't deliver, it really bugs me. I don't think it's necessarily fair to judge a movie based on, things you were expecting about it, right? Like, it's kind of like a lot of people thought Longlegs was going to be one thing, but it turned out to be something else entirely. We have to judge the movie for the product that it is. I feel like that's the only way to be totally fair, but it does feel a little unfair that when the people making it promise one thing and then it ends up being something else entirely. So if Scream 7 just ends up being another Scream 5, another Scream 4 in the franchise where we're balancing the narrative between two main characters, someone from the older cast, someone from a new cast, I'm not into that. This franchise has done that twice already. This would be the third time. And I feel like it's one of the biggest criticisms I have about Scream 5. Had that been a movie that completely focused on Sam Carpenter, or, completely do it from the ground up, basically make it another movie about the legacy cast, it would have been better in both regards. Trying to split it between both groups of characters is what's tough. It's why I have a lot of criticisms about Scream 7 before we've even seen it, because we have like the most amount of characters in any Scream film ever by far. Holy shit. There's so many people in this movie. I don't know. I'm worried. I'm very worried about what's happening with Scream 7. I hope it's not too convoluted. Hopefully it's just a simple story that focuses on a good murder mystery again, because that to me is what, at its core, that's what I want the most from a new Scream film. Good murder mystery, a little bit of meta horror commentary, that would be awesome. Some great kills, you know what I mean? A good reveal. That's just simple things. Hopefully it doesn't lean too far into the nostalgia of, man, isn't this franchise so great? Like how we did in the last two movies. We did that a lot. We did that a lot in Scream 5 and Scream 4. Or Scream 5 and Scream 6, I mean. And to me, it's just like, oh my God, let's talk about something. Let's get into some real commentary here. We get it. Scream rocks. We all love Scream. That's why we're here watching it. Talk about something else. Flamingo Productions would love to be in a Poonaverse film, especially their upcoming movie, Alice and the Mad Hatter. I think I would do you would be great in the role of the Mad Hatter. Go audition. See what you can do, man. That'd be awesome. Riley Rage is saying, question, I already read that, never mind. Sean P. Tattoos is saying, hey, Jake, I loved Weapons. My theater was dying laughing. I was cracking up a few times. It's a very funny film, despite its very dark concept. There's many very goofy moments, which is great. There's not too many films out there that can terrify me, make me emotional, and also make me fucking laugh out loud. There are many moments like that across all of Weapons. I was blown away. Mad Apple might be figuring out what's going on. That's exciting. What do you think happens in Terrifier 4 GOW speedruns and memes? I think that somehow Sienna and Art the Clown are going to get sucked into hell, which is where we're going to learn a little more about Art the Clown's ties to the demonic, the satanic, maybe, I don't know. I feel like it's got to end in hell. We know that Gabby has been sucked in there, and I feel like Sienna's got to go and save her little cousin. That's got to happen. And we also have found out from from the last couple Terrifier movies, you just can't kill Art the Clown. Why is that? It's got to be because of his demonic ties. So we have to untether that to officially kill Art. Which, this is something I've talked about a bit before, but I'd love to go a little deeper into it. I'd almost love to see Sienna have to deal with all of that in the underworld, then come back up to Earth and have the final battle with Art the Clown. So it's like you have this like middle of the movie be set in hell, but then the rest of it is Art the Clown and Sienna fighting one last battle, and Art the Clown's going all out. He knows he can officially die again. That to me would be crazy. I would love to see something along those lines. It would be a ton of fun to see. But I want to see like an epic final, an almost emotional battle between Art and Sienna. Art has taken away everything from her entire family at this point. I want to see the gloves come off basically for both characters by the end of the next film. That's how it's got to end, in my opinion. Michael C is saying the tower collapse is my new favorite Final Destination premonition scene. You know, the more I watch it, the more I agree with you, Michael. I've always been like such a huge fan of Part 2's opening sequence. It's great. It's just, oh my God, one of the best of the entire franchise without a doubt. 3 was a personal favorite for a long time too, because it scared the hell out of me as a kid, that roller coaster sequence. Ooh, it was the reason I didn't want to go on a bunch of rides at Cedar Point as a young kid, let me tell you. But this scene is so fun. It's a great mixture of practicals and VFX, which I think is like some of the absolute best ways to do like horror shit. In just crazy special effects. That mixture of practical and VFX in the modern day is the best way to do it. You know, there was a time period where we only did practicals. Then in like the 2000s, it was only VFX. Now we're kind of mishmashing it together into this Frankenstein of effects that looks great, in my opinion, when it's done well. When it's done well, it's awesome. Sometimes it's not great, but sometimes it is, which is sick. And this is a case where it is, in my opinion. David Primero throwing $5 out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. Really appreciate you supporting the page. Saying there is a movie named The Haunted. You watched it as a kid from either the 80s or the 90s. Still looking for it till now. It has a carpet and goo. I'm invested with that carpet goo. I don't know what that is, but I'm into it. Have you heard of it? The Haunted. I want to say I have. I want to say I've seen the poster for this movie. Is it red with the like scary stripes in somebody's face? The Haunted, 1991. No, I have not seen this film. Never mind. I thought maybe I had. The Haunted movie. Show me The Haunted. This I don't know. I don't know if I've seen this. Husband and wife parapsychologists help a Pennsylvania couple fight demons in their house. Oh, and Jeffrey DeMunn is one of the characters. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's that one dude from The Walking Dead. We love him. I'll have to check this out. I've never seen it. Is it The Haunting? Is that the movie I'm thinking of? The Haunting, maybe? Hang on, now it's killing me. Yeah, The Haunting, 1999. Yeah, yep, this is the movie I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay, I want to say I saw this as like a kid. I don't remember it at all. It stars Liam Neeson, though, which is crazy. And Owen Wilson, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Wow, this has got a crazy cast. I got to revisit this one. 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how you know it's good, folks. Let's go. The Haunted. I'll have to look into this one, though, David, and check it out. I'm watching Funhouse as soon as humanly possible. It's coming, I promise. But dude, thank you so much for the 5. Really appreciate the support. Carpet goo. We'll have to see what that's all about. Should we eat the carpet goo? Should we not? I don't know. Piggy 180 is saying, how are you, Jake? I'm fantastic. How are you? Welcome in, my friend. Thanks for being here. I'm a little sweaty, but that's okay. That's what happens when you scream at your computer for an hour on end. Riley Rage has just watched the movie Primal Rage, free on YouTube. A few good elements. Bigfoot creature feature. Primal Rage always makes me think of the Mortal Kombat, but with dinosaurs game on the PlayStation. Did anyone ever play that as a kid? I played that all the time when I was younger. One of the first video games I really got into. Really fun. Ty Lee is saying, I think Bloodlines has the best premonition. I keep forgetting we're getting another VHS this year. Yes, and I know it's going to be good. Dude, VHS is going to be good, though. We have some pretty interesting creatives tackling this one this time around. It's probably going to be the most Adult Swim feeling VHS flick. We have 2 big names from Adult Swim coming over and doing shorts for this one. If it's Casper Kelly, who is, of course, responsible for one of my all-time favorite short films and one of the weirdest fucking segments that Adult Swim has ever aired, Too Many Cooks. He's doing a segment for this film. And the other guy whose name I can't remember, he's done like a ton of different weird shorts for Adult Swim, and also has a short film called Pumpkin Guts that is so, like, it's the Halloween vibe. I feel like he's doing a remake of that for VHS, basically, and I'm really excited to see what that's all about. So if you look up Pumpkin Guts short film, it's shot like normally, not found footage. I don't know how else to say it except normal, not, you know what I mean? So they might do like a found footage version of this Pumpkin Guts short. And when you guys watch it, if you do watch it, check it out, see what you think. Tell me that wouldn't be perfect for a VHS film. I mean, like, with this one having a Halloween spooky season feel to it, I feel like that's got to be what this fella is bringing to the table here. Dude's name is totally slipping me, but if you watched my latest VHS Halloween update, you might know what I'm talking about. But I think it's going to be good. I can't wait. October 3rd. That is going to be a busy day, by the way, folks. We have 3 big horror movies dropping that same day. VHS Halloween on streaming, Shelby Oaks from Chris Stuckman, make sure to see it in the theaters, and Good Boy, if I'm not mistaken, that movie's coming out that same day too. Which, let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, October 3rd. This is a movie very similar to something like The Conjuring, where it's a ghost story happening in a house with a family, but told from the perspective of the dog. It sounds really unique, like kind of one of those films that doesn't happen a whole lot. Just a very unique film, and I can't wait to get into it. Larry Fessenden is in this one too, who, if you know that name, he's a very big name in terms of indie horror. He's made a lot of really weird movies. One of my favorites from him, Habit, is a top 10 vampire flick of all time, in my humble opinion. And I can't wait to see what this is all about. It's a dog named Indy is the star of it, like the lead role, and that's really exciting to me. That just sounds like such a weird and crazy idea. So really hyped for October 3rd. It's going to be a good day, a busy day for old Jake, but busy means good. Tid Morgan is throwing a whole $1 out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. Thanks for helping us move forward in our super chat goal here. Means a lot. Good stuff, good stuff. Picky Piggy is saying I don't have Shudder, so I want VHS Halloween on DVD. I'm not trying to, I want them to sponsor me before I say this. But I think Shudder's totally worth your time and money. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully they'll pay me next time to say that. But Shudder's great. Shudder's actually pretty fucking sick. Flamingo's like real serious about this audition. How do I do auditions? Let me know. What should I do, please? I would just reach out to... There's like whole websites that will tell you how to get in touch with casting directors and all that. If you do enough research, you can find these people. Trust me. We found, when we were working on our fan film for Red Right Hand, we actually found direct numbers to agents for certain people that we were trying to get in the film. We were really naive, and it was probably never going to happen, but we still reached out. We still tried to make it happen. We really wanted to get Fred Durst in our fan film, and that he did not call us back. Believe it or not. We left a message for his agent, apparently. At least that's what IMDb Pro told us was the number for it. And we never got a call back. But hey, you got to try. You can't just not try, right? So there you go. That's what I'll tell you. That's what I'll tell you to do. Arthur Claus is hanging out with us. What's up, Arthur? Welcome in. You seem to be getting busy in the next couple of months here. Filming Terrifier 4. Let us know if you know anything about that. Probably not, but it's okay. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. What else is going on? You really like Andrew Garfield and Breck Bassinger. Very good actors and actresses for sure there. Love that Cinepixel. Picky Piggy is saying, Jake, can you recommend some Halloween horror movies I can get on DVD that I haven't seen? Trying to think. I really recommend Pumpkinhead. That is a killer movie. Very spooky Halloween, like fall feeling film that I think more people should see and give a watch to. I think one of the most hidden gems that's a more recent watch is called Dark Harvest. It's super October theme, like October feeling, leaves on the ground kind of vibes to it. And I couldn't recommend it enough. Dark Harvest, it's one of those movies that you think it's going to be one thing. You think it's going to be like this like kind of cool, slick little slasher movie set during fall in a small town, and it turns into something else entirely, and it's kind of nuts. So I recommend it. I recommend Dark Harvest quite a bit. It's a good one. Really bizarre and crazy out there premise, which is sick. Sean P. Tattoos is saying, what movie are you looking forward to the most for the rest of the year? That is so tough, man. We got a lot of good movies on the horizon here. Well, I'm really excited for Toxic Avenger this month. It looks awesome. Everything I've seen about it it looks like it's going to be one of those really special, fun movies, and I hope it is. We saw a remake of Street Trash last year that I thought was going to be really good, but I don't know. I wasn't crazy about it. I wish I liked it more. Had some crazy special effects though, which was awesome. Did love that about it. I hope that Toxic Avenger, which is something that I feel is very similar, is hopefully done better and even more brutal. So I can't wait to see what Mason Blair, however you pronounce that name. I hope he's done a very good job with this one. Cineverse picked it up after it basically got dropped and was never going to be released, and I hope that all of this was worth it. You know what I mean? I'm really excited for the Toxic Avenger. I hope it bangs. So show up. Their whole tagline is "show the fuck up," and I like that about. I really like that. It sounds like it's got a real good vibe to it. So I'm real hyped for that. Black Phone 2, totally up there with me personally. I was not really excited for this film until I saw the trailer. I remember when they announced it, and I was just kind of thinking to myself, this is a cash grab. Like, I don't know how else to look at it. You know, the Black Phone was such a one-off. And now, you know, I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh, I get it now. You know, it was one of those things where I didn't understand why they wanted to do a sequel, and they're reinventing the whole formula, turning into a franchise, basically making the Grabber the new Krueger. And now I get it. You know, I didn't realize that they were taking this big ambitious swing with it. I kind of thought they were just like doing a sequel to do a sequel. You know what I mean? Cash in on something that turned out to be popular. But this is a good idea. This is a genuinely like, okay, this could be something sick here. So Black Phone 2 is probably the big studio movie I'm the most excited for. Well, actually, no, Predator Badlands. Almost forgot about that. Predator Badlands in November is one of the movies I'm highly anticipating. I feel like that's going to be a top 10 of the year without a doubt. I don't think anything's topping Weapons for me personally. That was like to me, Weapons is like a Scream level movie. Like that's just going to be one of those movies that's one of the best of all time. For me personally, maybe not everyone feels that way right now, but I feel like in 5-10 years, that's how we're going to look at that film. And I loved it so much. But I do think Badlands is going to be good. Really excited for the new Silent Night, Deadly Night, and of course, Return of the Living Dead, but Christmas themed. Fuck yeah to all of that. So lots of good stuff on the way. 2025, I'm predicting, is going to be one of the very best years for horror that I have ever covered. 2022 is currently my favorite year for horror that I've covered, but I think 2025 is slowly going to become the very best. So I'm really excited to see what else comes this year. It's going to be fun. Flamingo Productions is a Poonaverse fan. Hell yes. What did you think of Bambi? Let me know what you thought of Bambi the Reckoning. I'm curious. I enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it as much as some of the other ones, though. I think personally, I liked Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare more. But Bambi was fun. Bambi was cool. I had a good time with it. I think my absolute... I really think Pinocchio is going to be the best, though. I'm really hyped for Pinocchio. I like the idea, you know, Pinocchio is a scary concept to begin with. The idea of like, you know, a puppet coming to life, essentially, right? And I just like the idea of turning that into like a body horror film. Like that's going to be really fun. So Pinocchio, rock on. I think it's going to rock very hard. And I can't wait to get into that one. Sean P. Tattoos. When can we talk Weapons spoilers? On Monday, I'm doing a spoiler talk for Weapons. So we'll be getting right into spoilers as soon as that stream starts. Make sure to see Weapons this weekend. And then come on by for some talk on Monday about it at 3 p.m. Eastern time, just like how we're streaming today. Scary Guy 123 is saying, are you excited for the Silent Night, Deadly Night coming this Christmas? Abso-fucking-lutely, yes. The trailer looked awesome for it. Looks like it's capturing the vibe of the original really well. And I cannot wait. I seriously cannot wait to see what this one's all about. I think it's definitely going to be good. I'm especially excited for a new Mike P. Nelson movie. Dude, I mean, this guy just cannot... He can do no wrong, in my mind. He's done just so many good movies so far, and I think this is going to be another one to add to the list for sure. Which, speaking of which, we have a new short film coming out from him, which is the first continuation in the Friday the 13th series in a very long time. When is that? Next Wednesday. Wednesday the 13th. Not quite Friday the 13th, but close enough. Wednesday the 13th, we'll be talking about Sweet Revenge on the page. Really excited for that. It's going to be the first thing in Friday the 13th, that franchise, in a very long time in terms of something actually official. You know, we've had a lot of really exciting fan films come out in this universe, especially from Womp Stomp Films. But now we're finally getting something that's official, and hopefully it's good. Hopefully it stands up to everything else that has come out recently, because this is this is an official thing. This is like a real Friday the 13th property now, and hopefully it's good. You know, a lot of people are worried that it's just going to be a cider commercial, a 13-minute long cider commercial, and I hope it's not that. I hope it's more than just that, but we'll see. We will see. Cinepixel is saying, I want to see Andrew Garfield and Breck Bassinger in one movie. That would be fun. Both very good actors. Last thing I saw Andrew in was We Live in Time with Florence Pugh. Really solid drama. It made me cry. It was a sad little movie, but it was fun. It wasn't fun. It was a good watch. That's what I'll say. It was not a fun time. It was a very sad movie. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Riley Rage is saying, is the AI angle in Scream 7 confirmed? Final thoughts on how that will be used. Scream always pushed technology boundaries, like think Scream 3 and 4. So we heard from a third-party source that they'll be using like AI deepfake technology in the film. I'm guessing like Ghostface is going to use that to fuck around and, kind of taunt Sydney a little bit. That's my guess. I don't know how I feel about it overall. I feel like you could do that and it could come off as real hokey, but I also feel like there's a lot to say about AI being used in the industry right now. It's a very hot button issue. It's something that's really controversial too, I think the idea of, big studios wanting to utilize AI over real people sucks major balls. Movies and music, all this different stuff, it's art. It's based on the human experience, and that's what makes it good. That's what makes it relatable. And to just pump out regurgitated nothingness, basically, that imitates what art really is kind of fucked up. It's an abomination, in my opinion. So I think the idea of demonizing that by showing our killers in a Scream film using it, that to me is an interesting idea. I could get into that if it's executed right. But it could come off as hokey, and I think that would be a major problem for Scream 7, because I think one of the biggest areas that this new movie can get ahead is by actually doing some sort of commentary the right way. There wasn't really too much commentary in the previous film. Scream 6 is more so just like about the franchise itself. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of moments where you're watching Scream 6 and you're like, okay, they're just kind of talking about their own franchise. You know what I mean? They're just kind of talking about Scream. They're not actually getting into actual horror tropes and things happening in the genre right now. Could Scream 7 break that and actually get back to that? So a little meta horror commentary. Have some jokes in there. Have some scares that relate to the space of film right now. I hope so. That's ingrained in the DNA of Scream. It's what made it such a big success back in 1996, and should be carried through with other sequels. So I'm really hoping that they rip on AI a little bit, give it the middle finger. That to me is really important, that they do something like that. And, Riley, you got a point there too. Scream, it's not the first time that Ghostface has used crazy tech, right? I mean, even in Scream 5, we see Amber using a bunch of different technology to, if it's harassing Tara with hacking into her whole fucking doorbell locking system or whatever the fuck, or also the voice changer thing, like the live voice changer, which is crazy to make you sound like Ghostface. So it wouldn't be totally out of the realms of possibility to see a Ghostface using some crazy tech. That's kind of part of who Ghostface is. So I think that could be fun. Horror movie lover is saying, how do we know that Terrifier 4 is legit filming in September? Damien hasn't confirmed it. Heard they were going to conventions in the fall, which people said they didn't while filming 3. Well, we heard from an actual, I have a source. I wouldn't just say that if I didn't have a source. If you actually go to that video, I have the source linked in the video to productionlist.com, which is a credible source. They constantly are, talking about putting updates there about different productions that are getting ready to go. So check that out if you don't believe me. If you ever question something I'm talking about in a video that I, list as an update, like the prison thing, right? I had a whole theory about Art the Clown going to prison. That's a theory, and I posed it as a theory. But the update portion of that video was actually that they're going to start filming sometime in September. So you can actually check that out by clicking on the links in the description of that video. I always list my sources. So if you're ever like, is that legit? What's going on with that? Just check out the sources. There's a sources tab in every video I upload to this page. So you can actually give that a look. So we do know that Damien is doing conventions in October, but we don't know about September though. So I mean that could be legit. I could see that being the case. I could see them shooting this movie in like a month, taking a break to go to conventions and then going back. And then filming the rest of it too. Don't forget, it's been heavily rumored that this is likely going to take place, moments after the third film wraps up. That seems to be how the last couple of movies finished. So let's say they film the back half of the movie first. And then when snow actually gets on the ground, they film the rest of it. The first half, essentially. I feel like that would make sense. You know what I mean? Where a lot of this is going to be, some of it may be outside. So I wouldn't be a crazy suggestion if they were to film let's say the opening scene that could be outside in snow. Filming that sometime in November or December. That wouldn't be totally outrageous. Picky Piggy recommends watching Tales of Halloween, Bad Candy, All Hallows Eve 1 and 2, and also The Pumpkin Carver. I've seen All Hallows Eve 1 and 2. I have not seen, I don't know what Bad Candy is. That is one I'm unfamiliar with. Lots of really good Halloween feeling horror films. You know what else is another good one that I just thought of? Haunts. If you've never seen Haunts before, I really, really recommend that one. It's basically like a haunted house, but gone wrong. They're like killing people and shit in there. Really cool little movie from Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Probably one of my favorites from them, if I'm being real. That's a really good one. If you haven't seen that, absolute banger of a film. Some brutal moments in there for sure. I'll have to look up Bad Candy though. I'll have to watch that. If you haven't seen Pumpkinhead though, oh my God, Pumpkinhead is so cool. I love Pumpkinhead. That one's got like this, it's got like a little bit of a revenge factor to it. It's got a crazy looking creature that kind of looks like a xenomorph, but not really, but also kind of. Lots to love about Pumpkinhead. Old Pumpkiny. He's a silly looking guy, isn't he? Love him. The Monkey is also out on streaming this week too, fellas. If you haven't seen that one yet, I recommend checking it out. Maybe one of my favorite Oz Perkins films, if I'm being real. Very silly, goofy movie. If you liked Final Destination, I recommend it too. It's got some crazy kills in it that are very like Final Destination inspired, is how I feel about them. So definitely one to check out. Oh, Ty Lee, this is another good suggestion. Yes, Cobweb, definitely another good one with fall vibes to it. Lots of crazy twists and turns in that movie as well. Very good stuff there for sure, 100%. Scary Guy 123 is saying, do you think The Strangers Chapter 2 will be good or bad? If it was good, that would be so cool. That would be like the coolest and weirdest thing ever if that movie was actually good. I have very little faith in it though. I will say that I have very little faith in The Strangers Chapter 2. I feel like if they explain too much about the strangers, it's totally going to fall on its head. I don't want to know shit about them. I'm going to be honest. I feel like it's even just giving me a taste of who those characters are, I feel like is fundamentally missing the point of what makes the strangers so great in the first place. So, basically saying, hey, we're going to go to their home and show you how they live and show you who they are. That is taking something away from them. In my humble opinion. So I'm just not hyped about The Strangers Chapter 2, but I hope it's good. I'm rooting for it, and I'm gonna go into it with an open mind. But I don't think I'm gonna like it. Even though I am hyped. I do want to see it. Horror Movie Lover is also asking if you think Terrifier 4 will release next year. I do. I really think it's going to be October 2026, if I had to guess. I it's going to be cutting it close, though. I'll be real. Filming it, in basically quarter 3, quarter 4 of this year, and then trying to release it in, let's say quarter 4, early quarter 4 of 2026. Yeah, that's going to be cutting it close for sure. But they did that with Terrifier 3. They filmed it, edited it, and put it out, baby. So I think yes, I think that's probably when we're going to see it come out. It's such an October franchise. I know the last one was a Christmas horror movie releasing in October, and a lot of people were like, "What?" That's a bizarre idea. But they also re-released it in December of that following year, which was like, yeah, that's a great idea. A lot of people loved it, so why not re-release it for Christmas? Now I feel like we're just going back to typical Art the Clown vibes. It's not going to necessarily have a theme one way or another. It's just going to finish out the story. And I'm here for that. I think it's going to be fun. I've got to take off these headphones, man. Killing my ears. I've had them on like all day. I made a new video with Splattercast, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that yet, I don't know if they posted it or not, but I recently made a new video talking about weapons with those guys. So definitely give it a watch whenever they put that out sometime this weekend. It's going to be fun. It was a very good conversation with me, Dylan, and Luke. So I'm really hyped to see that video, how it turns out. But yeah, getting back to this though, yeah, no, I'm really excited for Terrifier 4, dude. I want to see some crazy kills. I don't need them to top the kills from the previous films or anything like that. I just want to see Art the Clown brutalize some people again. That's all I'm looking for. Just some fun with that. One of the biggest questions I have with Terrifier though is who is going to be the new entity companion, right? We've had so many different ones come in from the past, like Victoria Hayes, little pale girl. Who's it going to be this time? I'm really excited to find out. It's going to be fun. And I'm still sticking with my theory that Rhea Ripley is going to be a cop that takes down Art the Clown and maybe even gets killed later on for it. I really feel like that would be such a great way to introduce or do that cameo. That would be a lot of fun. So would be a really fun, weird little thing to happen there. Could it be Art's so big they want to get it out while he's hot? Because I feel like 2027 would be okay too. And do you believe this is the last one, as Damien said? Yeah, 2027. I mean, we could wait for it for sure. We will wait for it. I mean, oh my God, Terrifier is the biggest thing ever right now. Of course, people are gonna wait for it in terms of excitement for franchises. But I feel like they definitely want to strike while the iron is still hot though. Because Terrifier is at its peak right now. You know what I mean? Let's just be real. Terrifier is the new hot shit on the street for now. Will that be the case in another year or two? I don't know. So I feel like they want to get this out while it's popping for a 2026 release, and I think they're going to do everything in their power to make that happen. Do I believe this is the last one? I believe that it's the last one in the Sienna and Art the Clown saga. Yes, I don't believe it's I don't believe it's going to be the final time we see Art the Clown on the big screen. Whenever you have a big, new icon like this, they're going to find any way to bring him back for some bullshit. So there's going to be a Terrifier 5 at some point. We just have to accept that that's going to be the case. It's just now's the question of how are they going to do it? What's the next film going to be about essentially? Beyond Damien Leone's initial story. I think he's probably going to hand it off to somebody else at some point after his story is done. I've heard a lot of people say that Damien is very protective of this story. But I also feel like he's going to be very soon. He's going to be ready to move on to something else. And I'm excited to see, honestly, what else Damien has up his sleeve. All we've really seen from him is Terrifier. I want to know what else he can do. And I'm excited to get into that hopefully at some point in the future. He said that he has a new movie with Sam Raimi's company, Ghost House Pictures, that they're developing. And I want to know more about that for sure. I'm excited to get into that. But yeah, I love Terrifier, but I do want to see Damien do something else outside of it. I want to see him do another movie. What other ideas does he have up his sleeve? He's pitched weird ideas of things he'd love to do, and I'm excited to see those things potentially happen. Shot by Shot is saying, I hope most of Terrifier 4 will take place in hell. It's such a good setting. Yeah, we got to find a way to get Sienna and Art there, I feel. And I kind of pitched the idea of doing, they both get arrested. Like, I feel like that would be such an insane way to start that movie off, with putting these characters in a real shit situation. And they get out of it by, out of the frying pan into the fire kind of thing, right? It's like, okay, they made it out of jail, but now they're in fucking hell, like that would be such a fun way to kick off this story, is that happens to both of them, and then maybe the entity comes in to try to help Art the Clown, and they get sucked into a fucking portal to hell. Think Evil Dead 2, right? The end of that movie, what happens to Ash there. So something like that could be really fun. I don't know. I think that would be sweet, but we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. Erica's throwing a link out to my gaming channel, GullGotha, by the way. If you guys have not subscribed, please go check it out. We're going to be streaming there again very soon, and then after this stream, I'll be posting a brand new video. It's going up at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is less than 30 minutes away. So please go check that out after this stream. Would be really nice. Would be really nice to get some views on that. We are nearly monetized over there, too. Gonna be able to file here this weekend, and I am really excited, let me tell you. For Misery Gaming is joining in, saying, Jake, Weapons was really better than both Sinners and Together. I'm seeing it tonight. Lots of positive thoughts, but no one was quite as high as you were on Weapons. I've seen people who were higher than me on Weapons. Dylan from Splattercast also feels like it's probably his favorite. Luke said that Bring Her Back is still his favorite of the year, which I thought was a really good choice. Too, but this is a number 2 for him personally. I don't know, for me, Weapons, I think it's going to be one of those movies that in a few years we're going to look back on it, and it's going to be one of those that just changes the face of horror. This is I don't say that about every movie I like, you know what I mean? A lot of movies I liked this year that I thought were great, but I don't think they're going to change the face of horror like how this movie truly is going to. I feel like this is a movie that is super unique, super original, something that's never been done before. I don't want to overhype it, but I went in with high expectations and came out with an even higher product. Like, I didn't think it would go to the places that it did, but it did. It's a movie that is like everything you could possibly want just from a film in general. It's scary, it's funny, it's emotional, heartfelt. You feel for these characters who make these insane decisions. But my God, it's a film that I loved wholeheartedly, and I can't see. I really can't see anything topping it from this year, or fuck, maybe even this decade. Like, Zach Cregger has truly crafted a masterpiece with this one. I understand why it's one of the highest rated horror films of the decade so far. So I have nothing but love for this film. I loved it to death. I really think it's going to change the face of horror for a very long time. Shawnee Mackey is saying, I can't wait for February of 2026 so I can review my Scream ranking. I think 7 will definitely be in my top 3. I really hope so. I hope so, Shawnee. I hope this one rocks. I want it to be good very badly. I want it to be the best of these new Scream films, but I have my doubts. But I will say that Scream, when its back is up against the wall, typically this is where it thrives. A lot of movies have had piss poor productions in this franchise and still have found a way to be good. And that to me is a really shocking thing about the Scream franchise. So I'm just hoping that this one bangs. I really do. I hope that it's awesome. And I'm worried. I'm worried about it because I love this franchise so much, and some of the weird things we've heard about it definitely have me skeptical, but I think it's still going to be a very fun film, and I'm really excited to get into it. For Misery Gaming saying, so Weapons over Barbarian. I definitely like Weapons more. Barbarian rocks, and it's a banger of a film, probably one of my favorites from 2022. But man, Weapons is it's something else. It's even it's, a lot of people were saying, a lot of third-party sources were saying about Weapons, like, oh, it kind of does the same thing as Barbarian. Like, It does, but it's just so different. It's very similar to Barbarian in terms of its shifting genres all the time, but it's set up and done in such a more sophisticated and methodical way. So I think I loved Weapons even more than Barbarian, which is a crazy thing to say. But honestly, I look at Barbarian now and I'm like, that's kind of like a very raw version of what Weapons turned into. Like, Weapons is this almost like this epic horror film, where Barbarian is this smaller story that's laid out in a very weird way as well. But man, Weapons, it's a masterpiece. It's an 11 out of 10. I just have nothing but love for it. One of those special horror films that we just don't get too often. Shawnee is saying, do you think that Kirby will make some kind of appearance? I still feel like they're probably going to do this like Kirby spin-off thing at some point. So I could totally see them teasing that here in Scream 7. Let's be real. This is the flagship series for Spyglass Media. They've had other things that were successful, but nothing like Scream, Screams 5 and 6 made a fuck ton of money for slasher films. And I totally see them trying to do more with this, like, a spin-off series. I mean, look at what Blumhouse is doing right now with Insidious. We have Insidious 6 on the way, and also a spin-off of Insidious called Threads, whatever the fuck that's going to be. And I genuinely think the only reason they're doing that is because Insidious The Red Door, which is, in my humble opinion, my least favorite film in that entire franchise. It's the most profitable by far, which is insane. Maybe not most profitable, but made the most money. Because now I'm thinking about it, the original had $1 million, whatever, it doesn't matter. It made the most amount of money out of all 5 of those movies by far. So of course, Blumhouse is going to pump out as many Insidious flicks as they possibly can. Why not? It's a cash cow. Same with Scream right now. Even with all the bad press, it doesn't matter. There's millions of people who will see anything with Scream in the title. So why wouldn't they make a ton of those movies? I definitely think that Kirby spinoff is going to happen. I think Scream 7 and 8 and maybe even a 9 will happen as well, likely under the helm of Kevin Williamson, despite the quality. Like, even if these movies are dog shit, which I don't think they'll be dog shit. I think if they're not very good, they're just going to be like 4 out of 10s. But no matter how they are, I think they're just going to keep. I think they're just going to keep making them, no matter what. Why not? It's the biggest thing happening with Spyglass right now in terms of horror. Picky Piggy is saying Tales of Halloween and Bad Candy are both awesome Halloween anthology movies. I'm going to have to check. I've heard of Tales of Halloween. I never have heard of Bad Candy before, though. I'm going to have to see that. Anthony Morano is saying weapons discussion. Let's go. Anthony, we will be talking spoilers for that film very soon here on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I want to give everybody the weekend to, go see it, check it out, and then we'll come here and talk spoilers for it. I'm really excited to get more into that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot to talk about with that film in terms of spoilers. So we will be getting into all of that on Monday. And the other thing too is Monday at 3 p.m. we're doing that for quickly for an hour. I meant to say this at the top of the stream, but I forgot. For an hour at 3 to 4, we're going to be talking about weapons. But at 7 o'clock, we're going live again Monday night for the Lethal Collective, which will be on this page. So 2 streams Monday. That's total chaos. But 2 very different streams because we're doing a weapons focused talk and then the gang's coming over and we're we're all going to talk probably about Scream, let's be honest. Scream or 90s horror in general. So it's coming. And yeah, Fort Misery Gaming is saying, did you see we are getting the Clown Cafe food stand at HHN this year? Yes, that looks like a lot of fun. I hear the food is kind of funny there, though. So be careful eating it. That's what I'll say. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. Very excited to see what's up with all that. I want to go to HHN so bad, man. It's far too expensive. What else is going on here? I'm curious how involved Kevin Williamson was on the script. That's my only concern. Him in a directing role, he definitely had creative control over Scream 7 for sure. He did join late, is what I will say, with Scream. So maybe there was already work done by Christopher Landon. It doesn't really sound like there was, though. I feel like if there's any directorial changes or, adjustments to the script, that might have been done more so by Kevin rather than Christopher Landon. Even though I'd still love to see a Christopher Landon Scream movie. I hope that still happens at some point in the future. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, what else is going on? Sean is saying, I'm also looking forward to seeing your out of the theater reaction short for Scream 7. I hope I'm not... I'll tell you, if this one sucks, I'm going to be pissed. I love Scream, and if this movie sucks, I'm going to be very upset. Especially coming from Kevin Williamson, man. If he doesn't, he's got to do right by this movie. I mean, come on now. That would be wild if he didn't. So hopefully it's good. I would really be bummed if it wasn't. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I don't know if we're going to be hitting our super chat goal today, but that's okay. I really do appreciate you guys a ton for hanging out with us today. And we will be live again twice this coming Monday. So make sure to stop on by for that. It's going to be a ton of fun talking about weapons at 3 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. And then 7 o'clock, we're hanging out with the Lethal Collective. I'll have my weapons review out hopefully this weekend, sometime tomorrow. And I hope you guys watch it because I have a lot to say about this movie. It is horror film of the decade for me so far. So much love to you guys. Have a safe weekend. Have a ton of fun. And we will talk on Monday. Peace out. Kudos, everybody. Don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.